90, fax 451-2776. Q-Care, where the Q always stands for quality.
This is What in Health Are You Doing? Produced and presented by Stan Horn, naturopath of the Rose Clare Natural Healing Clinic at Prospect on Nice Radio for your health and social well-being. Good day, and how in the world are you? Today's word is increased urinary frequency. Polyuria is a commonly experienced symptom. Too much urine is different from increased urinary frequency. Polyuria, that's Polyuria, that is too much urine, which needs to be distinguished from the slightly different symptoms of excessive frequent urination, urinary dribbling, and an unusual urgency to urinate. The causes of too much urine can be attributed to too much fluid intake, particularly fluids containing caffeine or alcohol, too much salt or sugar, particularly if the person is diabetic, drug use, especially diuretics, that is, water pills, diabetics, both insipidus and mellitus, that's insipidus, insipidus, and mellitus, mellitus, mellitus diabetic types. Mellitus diabetes is characterized by too much sugar due to insulin issues, whereas insipidus diabetes type is a hormonal issue. Psychogenic polydipsia, that's Polydipsia, polydipsia, a condition of excessive water intake and thirst, is most common in women over age 30. Renal failure, a condition characterized by end-stage kidney disease. If too much urine is suspected, the urine volume and the cause should be investigated. Here are some recommendations for increased urinary frequency. First up is to avoid artificial sweeteners, sugar substitutes, for example, aspartame and saccharin. That's aspartame, aspartame or aspartame, and saccharin, saccharin, saccharin. These irritate the bladder. The most difficult to tolerate is soda, especially diet colas, because of the carbonation, the caffeine, the artificial sweetener aspartame, and derivatives of cocoa. These four ingredients are known to irritate the bladder. There is caffeine in coffees, teas, chocolates, and soft drinks. 1 cup of caffeinated coffee has 107 milligrams of caffeine. A cup of caffeinated tea has 34 milligrams. And 1 glass of Coca-Cola has 47 milligrams of caffeine. Many people drink at least 2 cups of coffee per day. About a quarter of coffee drinkers drink about 5 cups per day, and another quarter drink about 10 or more cups daily. Coffee is not just a beverage, it's a drug. Hundreds of thousands of people are physically addicted to coffee. It's the caffeine that makes the coffee addictive and accounts for most of the adverse effects of the coffee. However, there are hundreds of other chemicals in coffee. Caffeine is a known carcinogen, but there are numerous other components in coffee. For example, creosote, that's creosote, creosote, pymdine, pymdine, and TARS, TARS. Also, polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons created by the heat of roasting the coffee bean. Here's a tip for the day. The darker the roast, the greater the potential hazard. You've been listening to What in Health Are You Doing? Produced and presented by Stan Horn, naturopath of the Rose Clare Natural Healing Clinic at Prospect. Do join me again when I bring you yet another segment of What in Health Are You Doing? For appointments to the Rose Clare Natural Healing Clinic, please call 784 531 1150. That's 784 531 1150. Thank you for listening. And until next time, look after yourselves, stay well, and stay safe. Living healthily is the natural way to live, and you don't have to do it without professional advice. For general health maintenance and guidance on all other ailments, let the Rose Clare Natural Healing Clinic at Prospect help you with your diabetes, hormonal imbalances, high blood pressure, heart disease, and cancer through nutrition, acupuncture, reflexology, bio-resonant body scans, and detoxing. Your treatments are individualized and confidential and done in a safe and comfortable environment at the Rose Clare Natural Healing Clinic at Prospect. So give us a call. The new number 784 531 1150. That's 784 531 1150. And let the Rose Clare Natural Healing Clinic help you make the necessary changes to living healthily. The new number to the Rose Clare Natural Healing Clinic at Prospect 784 531 1150. 784 531 110, and let us help you.
Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I have a beautiful feeling. Everything's going my way. Douglas the Freitas in the morning. Hey, this is Spin Jump, and you're listening to Douglas the Freitas in the morning.
Today, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Tomorrow, the Caribbean. Nice Radio. 90.3, 101.3, 96.7 FM.
Thinking of a way I can make a difference. Talk to people about things that ain't true religion. Sometimes gotta press on, push through and fight. Giving up is not an option, it'll be alright. This ain't no joke, inspirational is what I do. There were times when I thought my dreams don't come true, but through it all, I keep hearing this line that said, baby girl, always let your candy shine. Because I can be
I can be anything, and it's Love Thursday and the nice, and I share some love to you. We have Dr. Kishore Shallow with me here on the nice. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Doggy. Good morning, listeners.
How are you this morning?
Pretty good, pretty good. Woke up and fully energized, ready for a big meeting later.
I hear you. I hear you. And you hear what the song says, I can.
Definitely, we can.
And that's a Vinci song, eh?
We can and we will.
Yeah, certainly, certainly. So let me it's Love Thursday night, so we're gonna share some love. North Leeward. Good morning, good morning. We have your boy Kishore Shallow. And I had a WhatsApp earlier this morning from somebody saying North Leeward all the way with Kishore Shallow. So that's a little WhatsApp message that came in on me this morning. Yes, well, I want to engage you this morning with with a few things, and I love to deal with the issues from your involvement in everything. Let's just leave North Leeward for a little bit. You are president of the Cricket West Indies, and we know all the history of all of that and how they tried their best because of politics to not have you being in that particular position. We had on sports highlights last night and yesterday. Carlos James said that they are honoring the 1975 team here. And they're going to have probably bring in some international cricketers. I don't get the full gist of it, but they're talking about having a big gala and honoring. Didn't the Cricket West Indies honor the 1975 team?
We sure did. We had a fantastic event on June 22nd in Barbados, CWI Weeper Awards. It was a gala event where we honored the 1975 team, the first ever men's, that is IC Men's World Cup, and West Indies, under the leadership of Sir Clive Lloyd, won that tournament. And so we thought it was most fitting to celebrate them at that event. We had been planning that event for over a year, Dougie, because it was we thought that it was only fitting that we celebrated these gentlemen in a way, in a fashion, so deserving of what they achieved then. The idea was actually planted in my head over 3 years ago, and at the award ceremony when I did my presentation, I mentioned it about 3 years ago. I was Winwood's president at the time, and I had brought over, and vice president of Cricket West Indies, and I brought over Sir Andy Roberts to Grenada. The Winwood's team was based there, and the Winwood's franchise, and so I brought over Sir Andy Roberts to do some work with our fast bowlers then. And while we had dinner, so Andy and I had dinner, and it came up, that these guys would never actually recognize in a formal way for the achievement then. And to me, that was a surprise. And so I didn't say much, but I digested that for some time, and I thought, well, with 50 years coming up at the time, couple years from then, it would be most fitting for us to put together. And so I mentioned the idea to a few of my management, and then a year ago, we decided that we're going to put together a committee and work towards that. And after all the months and so on of preparation, it came off really well. Every last one of the legends, those present and even those who couldn't make it because of physical challenges, they were really appreciated. I mean, since then, most at least have written to me expressing how grateful they are to be recognized. And let me put this into perspective, Dougie. In 1975, I wasn't born yet, right? I didn't see this World Cup game. Even a decade later, right, when I was actually born, most of these legends would have retired from cricket. So I haven't seen any of those legends, probably apart from Viv Richards and Gordon Greenidge, actually playing live, as in not live in person, but on TV. I even listen on the radio. And I would have been a kid, before even Viv retired. But because of interaction with West Indies cricket fans, not only in the region, but globally, I fully understand what it meant to people across the world of us winning that World Cup in 1975. And I'm sure you could attest to it, the value in that victory, what it did for Black people and Caribbean people. It gives us a sense of purpose, of hope. And so I thought it was most fitting for us then to honor them. And as I said, they were quite appreciated. But I mean, going to your question, which I think you're trying to ask, and as Cricket West Indies and as a cricket administrator, the leading cricket administrator in the Caribbean, I haven't been advised yet about this event that is supposed to be taking place in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. But what I would say is that if our Prime Minister decides that he's going to honor these guys again or recognize them again, that is absolutely no issue at all. Me, in fact, I would just say that I'm happy that I may have inspired that thought from the Prime Minister, and I just hope that. And some may say, well, is it is really political gimmick, right, from the Prime Minister. But I'm very hopeful that he is not trying to use these legends who have represented us and served us so well, that he's not using them just out of pure political mileage that he's trying to achieve here. It would be very responsible and even disrespectful if that is really the motive behind this event. So I'm really hopeful that is not the case.
Well, that is how I feel on the matter, and not me alone. I've spoken to many persons since this announcement, and persons who don't have any political affiliation to anyone, just neutral persons who say, I don't understand why you will do a second honoring if it is done already. If you want to have a gala affair and invite them for a celebration, this is I'm speaking about people's feelings, on this matter, right? So I am really really taken back because also from what I heard is that somehow they are going to have about four um, international cricket
Yeah,
games.
Dougie, I don't know the details, so I don't want us to speculate,
Yeah.
right?
No,
And
I'm
so,
not speculating. I'm
yeah,
just saying
well,
what I heard.
and I would, I think they should probably, if they want the kind of promotion, let them do it properly on your station. Let them actually give you the respect of providing with the details, and then even engaging you to promote the event. So if I were you, I would not even give any type of details about the event that they are having. But what I would say, again, the last thing I would say on this matter is, again, I am very much hopeful. And some people have said explicitly that it is because the Prime Minister is embarrassed by the fact that he came out prematurely recently, you know, and criticized Cricket West Indies for not recognizing these legends, with him himself not actually doing his own research, that there was actually something being done and was well being coordinated for months, right, to honor these. So I think it's a kind of reactive um, event that he's trying to put on now to save face out of embarrassment of his premature declaration the other day when he came up with that article. But let us leave that as is for now, and then at some point maybe we'll
Just,
come back
just,
to it.
just quickly, and to qualify what you just said there, it is Alex King on a sports highlights here on Nice Radio. When it was probably leaked to Alex that they're going to honor the team. That's long before. That's you say nearly about a year ago, right?
Yeah.
And there's Alex who said, I heard that there will be some honoring of the 1975 team, and this is about a year ago. So I was shocked when it came out. After all of that is in motion, and I guess he got wind, and has already said all that he had to say about you to sports backs and all of that. And I want to come to the sports backs issue, and that when he attacked you all around the Caribbean. So I believe a lot of this thing is just to save face. But I want to leave it there, as you say. We're gonna leave that. But it's sad that Sportsmax is closing today.
Indeed, and it's there have been challenges over the years with them. The whole TV landscape has changed. It has moved more to digital these days, and so I think that is one of the challenges that they have encountered. But yeah, I think they have a few more couple. Is it the 8th or something like that? They officially close, or
Well, I think today is the last broadcast. If I
okay,
no,
okay,
not today. Tomorrow. Tomorrow. Sorry,
okay,
Friday.
okay.
Friday. Friday.
Yeah,
Tomorrow.
but it's quite unfortunately, I've had um, great exchanges and encounters on the program over the years with people like Lance Whitaker and them, excellent media personnel and even the backroom staff. I remember the very first time we had VPL during the pandemic. I engaged them directly for them to broadcast the events, and they did so. They actually broadcast most of the matches live, and that is what helped to boost the VPL and have it being the product, the global product it is today. So again, we have enjoyed great partnership with them over the years. Cricket West Indies would have also benefited from the partnership with them broadcasting our international matches, and it's sad to see them go. But it is the is a change. Is the end of an era, I would say, in the region. Unfortunately, that is just where we are going, and which is why we have to embrace technology. Because if we don't, we are going to be left behind. And I could tell you that Sportsmax was one of the leaders in terms of innovation in the Caribbean, but there's just certain things that if we don't do them all, because of our small population in the region, our small commercial space as well, then we just would not be able to survive. So we have to really be innovative. We have to be leaders. We have to be just extremely, extremely creative to navigate all the challenges and just to stay ahead in this space that is really, if you understand and capitalize on globalization, again, you're going to be left behind.
So true, and radio stations like ourselves under tremendous pressure, and not just that, right around the world. I was speaking to what's his name out of Barbados. He owned Star, was with Starcom and the others. He have some online. Oh, I just can't remember his bring his name to my. Met him some time ago at church up in Stubbs. He came there with Vidal Brown. Was one of the most popular broadcaster in Barbados. Resigned recently from the official, but he has his own stuff going on. And we're discussing this whole format, and where terrestrial radio, how we mix it with the digital format as we're doing at this particular moment, where we have because right now on right now on TuneIn Radio, I have about 19,800 persons on TuneIn Radio right now listening to Nice Radio.
Lovely, lovely. And I mean, listen, I understand fully the scope of what you guys do behind the scenes for these radio stations. I mean, it's challenge. I don't know how you have managed to stay afloat for these years, Dougie. It's incredible. And with all the challenges, a very small market. In your particular case, being marginalized as well.
So true.
Because I well aware that with the advertisement and so on, the monies that available from some entities, they refuse to put that, to channel it in your way, even though you promote and your content is so heavily based on sports, and you would think that some of those entities would advertise a bit more with you. So I understand the challenges. I mean,
Well,
I can, when in personal and when we speak directly, I normally commend you and encourage you. But I just say it's really great, because I mean, if these stations are taken over or have to be obsolete or out of commission, then it's a massive void in our communication. But credit to you and other stations as well. You all have tried to evolve, right, with all the technology as well. Because if you don't do that, then again you're gonna be left behind.
certainly. And I just have a confirmation, as you said, Sportsmax, someone just have said, confirmed that they will be closed August 8th.
Yeah,
August,
that's what I thought.
yes, yeah, August 8th. Yeah, August 8th. I thought it was tomorrow.
No,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So, one other thing on cricket, and I'd open up putting you on the spot there. We know we have this, and the social media is inundated with the issue of a sexual, malaise with a West Indies player, and we don't go into details because if you have victims and matters, you don't expose that and so forth unless it is done by the source. And some people are saying that for political reasons now, and you see, I'm tying this to your politics. When I look around and see the things that are being said, they said, "Oh, the Dr. Shallow is trying to cover up some things." Just give me your take on that, so they'll satisfy the listeners that what actually is the procedure of dealing with these matters.
Well, I mean, the reality is up to this point on July 10th, 2025, CWI has not received anything, whether informal or formal. We have not received any complaints, any not even accusations against anyone at Cricket West Indies, whether staff or player, right? And so there's nothing for us to comment on. We can't comment on a matter that we do not have any information about, and it's as simple as that.
And that's what I responded to a few of the persons on the social media. I said, but how could you determine if Cricket West Indies does not receive a formal information on this matter? How could they do something about or say anything about it? So I just wanted to make sure that they hear it from the horse's mouth, and that they are listening,
Yeah,
and they know that they are listening, and that they would understand that now.
yeah, and
So,
we being in this business of cricket, Dougie West Indies cricket, something that is so dear and passionate, people are so passionate about. We know that there's always things going around on social media. And what you would find is that we don't necessarily um, put too much emphasis on what is read or being said on social media. And so, what fans and other people may have seen, some of that is probably what we have seen as well. And so, I just want to put on a record, on which a lot of media houses have reached out to us at Cricket West Indies, and we have simply said what I just said to you, Dougie, that we have not received anything, directly from anyone accusing any of our management or players of any misconduct in any type, and
and
that's
you,
the current position at July 10th, 2025.
and you see why it's so crucial is because cricket is the only sport that unite the Caribbean. So,
Absolutely.
so that's given. And now, in your political journey now, you the second carnival is starting, because we had the first one.
Mhm.
So this year is had two carnivals.
Let's so the other carnival is elections.
Right.
All right. So just before we go there, let us deal with the carnival that just finished.
Fine. Wonderful.
Right. And then when you talk about the carnival that some people may consider bacchanal,
Yeah.
that people are actually anticipating. It can't come soon enough for some of us, Dougie. That's the truth.
That's it.
Right. But my take on the recent carnival, I think is important that we we give some sort of review, because I would say that, and though I don't necessarily partake in all the activities, the events for carnival, and I ensure I observe the music, observe the art and the efforts and so on, the production, everything that go into the season. And I have seen, and based on some feedback, there has been some level of some semblance, I would say, of improvement. And with that, I think it's important that when people do well, we credit them. And I think that the change that the new CEO, Rodney Small, that he has brought, I think that freshness, new ideas, I think we could see some of that being sort of instilled, integrated in the planning and the execution of the event. And I think it's just fair to commend Rodney. But we still have a very long way to go, and this is by no means criticism to Rodney, because I'm well aware of Rodney's talent, both as a panelist and as a producer of these type of events. He has very high standards. But you could tell, based on the shows that Rodney has produced privately versus what he has produced for Carnival, you could tell the young man has been, greatly limited. All right. I suspect because of the resources, the limited resources he has been given to work with. And so there's clearly a need for greater investment in our Carnival, Dougie. This government still do not understand. They still don't understand how to execute, how to elevate our Carnival. All right. I was actually embarrassed because I went to the Calypso Monarch final, and I was embarrassed by the stage production. And that is the production, this is the stage used throughout the Carnival for Soca, Monarch, for Raga Soca, and the others. It's an embarrassment, Dougie.
I hear you.
When Todd Element, not to promote them, but when Todd Element and the same Rodney Small, and even the other private promoters put on their parties, the production is superior to what we've seen at Victoria Park. Right? It's an injustice to our artists, our performers, our entertainers who have invested so much money in their art, and then to turn up on what's supposed to be the grand stage, right, and performing there, right, it's almost as though they're relegating themselves to a lower standard, which is supposed to be the grand stage, right? You and again, as I mentioned earlier, is about integrating and adapting innovation. Right. So when you watch the other promoters, their events, you see digital screens in the backdrop and all these different things. I mean, the lighting was poor. All right. So it is one thing to say there may have been an increase in traffic. I'm waiting on the figures to suggest that or to confirm that. But if people are going to come here and they see that poor standard, then they're not going to return. They're not going to promote our Carnival. And so what is the point? I am I had the opportunity to go to St. Kitts recently for their music festival. I've been to Jazz Festival in St. Lucia before, and other festivals across the Caribbean. Even the Creole Festival in Dominica, I've observed also. And they all have their carnivals in addition to their music festivals, whatever they call it. We only have one, Dougie, just one main carnival. We do not have a music festival or a jazz festival. Years ago, we used to have a blues festival. We don't have anything else. So we should be able to invest heavily in our carnival and get it to a standard that is better than all these others. All right. But we can't even get one right. We cannot even, and if you look at a music festival in St. Kitts to our carnival that we just had, the production, again, I'm speaking in this case specifically about Victoria Park, which is supposed to be, again, our grand stage. It's chalk and cheese.
We call it the big yard. That's how we used to
It
refer
is
to it.
chalk and cheese. And I'm asking again. I mean, well, this government would not have another opportunity to put on carnival in the near future, right? But come next year, the NDP is going to show, we are going to demonstrate what it is like to execute a major event, one where our local talent would be so proud to not only perform on, but after to broadcast their performance on stage and not be embarrassed that boy, the background and the production overall is poor. And we are going to adjust those price monies because our local talent, they are not inspired or incentivized to really give the all. I mean, the young men and women had to be running around and scrunching people to invest in their production because they want to look good. They want to come on stage and they want to look good. They want to give a good account for themselves. But
Kishan, I'm gonna hold you when you get into office for something that I've been saying for the longest while. I've always said this. When January comes, the Carnival Development Corporation, because the operative word is development, and that should receive from the National Lottery $2 million to go and operate their budget and plan properly, have the things sorted out so that they could pay for these things and produce what we want. Because we cannot just look at CDC itself making money. We know that the carnival has shifted in many ways because private promoters had filled the void where as you said, the people are looking for something different. So the CDC has to step up its plate and making it, but it also have a development role to deal with matters. The thing is, if we don't arm them, if we don't arm the CDC, but every minute the CDC has to curtail. CDC cannot go and make a firm contract with resource persons, with vendors to the CDC, whether it is in artistry, song systems, lighting, whatever. You are now curtailing the movement, and we have to look now at the carnival economy. The carnival economy is involved in the airport economy. It is involved with movement of people coming into St. Vincent for it. So it is involved with all the taxes, the VAT collected from all the services rendered, because a lot of food, a lot of drinks, a lot of things are being sold around that time. So the government earns a lot of money, and it brings to the fore the capacity to earning more.
yeah, and Dougie, listen, you have made a major point there. You have touched on a point there, right? That it shows us again how reactive, slow to act this government has been. Here's an example, and it will probably be the last thing I say regarding Carnival for this on this show. Right. That point you made about Carnival Development Corporation, CDC, that in itself confirm that, I mean, we are lagging behind in terms of what the organization is about. What is the purpose of the organization? If you come into an organization and you say this is Carnival Development Corporation, right? From you have the word development there. You're not. So let me just draw comparison to the others. So Trinidad and Tobago, their carnival organization is the National Carnival Commission. Right? There's no development being talked about there. Right? You don't get that from the name National Carnival Commission. When you go across to Grenada, right, it is Spice Mass Corporation. Right? There's no way you're going to be, talking about the elevation and you have established a carnival organization, but yet you have the word development there. We have passed the development stage, or we should be anyway, right? And it is probably one of the first things we need to do when we get in office is review the entire organization and its structure, right? And change it into an establishment that is not purely focused on development. We have to treat this like a mature product that is ready to go across the entire globe. And maybe that is why we have been curtailed into just really a local event, and we haven't advanced really. But again, it's no surprise to me, because similar to other areas like sports and so on, this government under Dr. Ralph Gonsalves did simply do not understand culture, sports, tourism, and I could go on and on. But it is just a case where they don't understand it. It has gone past them. It is too late for them to even, embrace these and take these sectors to any sort of heights, to any level that could advance our country's development. And so that is why significant majority of the people I speak to now, intentions, are saying that it is really time for change, Dougie. And I don't know if you mind for us to talk about our event later.
Oh no, that is what we heading into now.
Right,
That is
right.
the main thing, is to promote. But I couldn't let you go without people understanding how things happen, and you use your concept to bring it to your North Leeward constituency first, so getting that seat back, and bringing it to the national development of the country.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you talk about, and everything that we have put on in North Leeward so far has been at a standard where people feel as though, yes, they're proud and happy to be associated with it. High standard. During the same carnival season, I supported in principle, not financially, certainly not intimately involved as well, but in principle supported this event that they had brunch on the beach, because of the fact that this, couple of young men in North Leeward, they could have easily decided to just have another fete, another party, right? But they wanted to establish a standard so that the people of North Leeward could feel proud to dress up nicely, and attend an event of class. And so they are not waiting on CDC, right? They are already in North Leeward, taking the lead in ensuring that they could organize high quality events that all of St. Vincent and Grenadines and outside could partake in. And with the events that I'm having, including the one later this evening at Spring Village, you would see that high standard in terms of organization. So you'd see a nice flow of the speakers. We have a guest performer, because we just fresh out the carnival, but we want to ensure that we maintain and promote our culture. So we have Zion with his popular song, and I'm sure he may probably even give us another one or two later. I think the whole of North Leeward looking forward to seeing this. Plenty of them probably would not have seen Zion perform before, certainly not this song. And I'm sure they're going to come out in the numbers to enjoy it. And Zion already, when Zion touch the stage, it's excitement.
Yeah.
So we look forward to that, and we are bringing it to the people of North Leeward, and we have what we wanted to do is that if you notice, Dougie, we didn't put on any events at all during the carnival season because we wanted,
You
people
don't
to
want the distractions.
exactly, and we
Yeah.
allow people to enjoy. But the intention was always immediately after carnival, and we deliberately set this date in the same week when Carnival finished because we want people to refocus. We want people to understand the importance of change this year. And so, yes, we have enjoyed the season, but now it's serious business, and we wanted immediately to get back on that path to say to the people that we are going to effect meaningful change this year and have a new government in office with Dr. Friday and the rest of his team in government soon as the bell is rung and the elections come. We are ready, Dougie.
Well, I don't be surprised that elections maybe called sooner than we anticipating, because my own intelligence tell me that things are already in the country.
Yeah, but the men are afraid. This is when you're at a stage, and this is my observation, when you're at a stage where you have accepted defeat, you know that this is your last term, right? It's just a matter of dragging it out, and until they can't anymore. But I think there's a general consensus in the ULP camp that they have accepted defeat this time around. Right? When you're a government and you can't even find candidates to run, that alone says a lot, Dougie. I mean, our good friend Andrew John, our candidate for NDP in South Windward, the man is unopposed. The man is unopposed, right? And even in some other areas, they still haven't confirmed the candidate. East Kingston, Fitz doesn't know who's going to run against him.
Mhm.
And we don't mind it because we understand that people don't want to be associated with them in certain in any meaningful way. And there are people who are quietly who have supported ULP over the years, but quietly are really hoping and cheering on a change. And the leadership of the ULP, they are aware of this. So they have accepted that it's a foregone conclusion that they are going to lose this election. And so the prime minister is afraid to ring the bell.
Mhm.
But what I would say to the people is be a little bit more patient. The time is flying. It can't go on forever. So at some point he has to ring the bell. So whether he likes it or not, whether he's being forced to or otherwise, he has to ring it sometime this year. And we are prepared. We have been preparing. The party, all the candidates have been working extremely hard, and we have people like Kashaka, Cupid, Philip Jackson, Conroy, same Andrew John and myself. We have been leaning on the experience of people like Major Leacock, our chairman Daniel Cummins, and others, who have been around so that we could be ready as well. They have been ready for years. We have benefited from their experience, and we have ensured that we are ready if elections, whether the date is announced tomorrow or next month, whenever it is called. Every last one of us, we are ready.
So so tonight now you are in Spring Village with your village meeting. Is that's a village meeting concept, right?
Yes, yes, and it's really to continue, spreading the message of the New Democratic Party. We have been, talking about our policies for a very long time, but you can't do it enough. And every opportunity we have to engage and interact with our people, we enjoy it and we believe it is critical because we don't want our messages to be in any way um, diluted or misconstrued or misunderstood in any way. So it is important that we go to the communities. And Senator Siobhan John, she has been doing a remarkable job at that out in North Windward. Series of village meetings, and I'm sure she's going to continue Senator Israel Bruce, he has been doing the same as well. And all the others, MP Fitz, Brambo in East Kingston, and the others, we have been working hard and supporting each other. And it's one thing with this party, Dougie, is that you see, we select speakers, different meeting, because we don't want to burn out any or have the same people all the time. But what you would always find is that even though we are not speaking at a particular meeting, all the other candidates are there supporting, right? Engaging with the people and so. So this is just another one of those events. My colleagues are going to be there, even those who are not speaking, Major Leakak and the others are going to be there. Our executive management, our treasurer, Luan, ever present, Gensec, the entire team always come out and support. So we are going to be there, and it's an opportunity for us to engage with the people in Spring Village later and across the other communities whenever we have the other villages meetings. So there's a series of meetings and activities, events coming up for the next few weeks and months, or however long it takes, Dougie, for the fella to ring the bell. What we are saying is that we are not stopping, and we are just ensuring that we are ready whenever the fella gets brave enough to ring the bell.
One of the things that I noticed, Spring Village is the gateway into North Leeward, right?
Yes.
It is also a very important area because you have the Cumberland Bay next door, which is a high tourism possibility of exploring. And exploring to the point of exploding in a way that will generate a lot of income for the North Leeward, and it's a gateway. What has been happening down there? What the government's been doing down there with respect to Cumberland and so?
The government is lost. Lost with ideas, and to a great degree also, they just simply lack interest in North Leeward. It is something that we have seen over the years. I will speak about some of the neglect later on the platform, Spring Village meeting. And you would also hear us speaking about the different opportunities that the NDP is going to bring for North Leeward and St. Vincent and the Grenadines later on the platform. But, Dougie, I'll just give you one example for Cumberland. The tourist season ended in April. It started in November last year. There's this piece of road that they've been trying to do for the longest while around the playing field in Cumberland, going down to the beach. To see that even a simple project like that, they can't get done, right, before the tourist season. It started before the tourist season. It is going on now, and I wouldn't be surprised if the tourist season come again and they can't complete that, all right? It is ridiculous, but that is what happens when you have an incompetent government.
But Doc, I saw a video
Yeah.
with the jetty where the boats coming in and that a tourist got damaged.
Well, and locals
trying to climb up on top.
And locals, came together, including myself, right, and decided that they needed something, a ladder, stairs to climb up from in the water on the jetty. And something that they asked the minister, the MP for North Leeward, to do for years, well, at least for a very long time. And he refused to do it. And when it was actually done, they made a scene about it, right? The national parks made a scene about it, wanted to involve police and so on because of their own neglect and because they thought, well, I was behind the improvement. I mean, what a start state that you have locals coming together and fixing a problem But yet, because you yourself failed the people and did not do what you were supposed to do, you want to involve the authority, the police force, right? Abuse of power. And that is only one thing. So Cumberland has been neglected. Just like the roads, when you look at the situation with the road going on to Cumberland Day in Sibel Hill, that road between Spring Village and Cumberland that you can't pass now. The government has done that. Road has been there again for how long? I mean, for years. Patel Matthews, when he was MP, was telling them about it. They did nothing. Now it clearly manifested exactly what Patel was trying to avoid. And they put a bypass road there. I mean, when you drive on that road every day, your heart almost want to just come out of you, doggy, because you want it's almost like wickedness. When I tell you total neglect, if we're in the rainy season, the other day some rain came and you see the water flooding over the temporary bridge that they put there. So I could only imagine when we get in the later on when real heavy rain starts coming, it will be, I mean, inconvenience to the people of North Leeward, and even people who just generally want to go to North Leeward. So that is only one. We'll touch on a few more later on at the event.
Well, I'll leave that because I want people to hear what you have to say later on today, and I want to encourage persons to listen up to your
And yeah, when we speak, doggy, when any member of the New Democratic Party, when we speak and we identify issues and shortcomings of this government, we always propose solutions, right? So we don't just identify issues and problems. We tell you, whether it is in Parliament, you have heard it from my colleagues, right, or on the platforms or otherwise, right? They have always, and we together, we have always proposed solutions to these challenges that we have, because we are a solution-oriented party, right? Who we're just not there just to oppose and create, identify issues. We want to tell people that, listen, we are going to bring to you favorable solutions, and that is going to translate into prosperity, at least progress for our people. And so, but I really look forward to the event later. We obviously have other speakers like Keshaka Cupid, our sister Lavon Velox Gibson, Velox, and Conroy, dynamic candidate for Central Leeward. He is going to, it's always a great level of excitement when Conroy touches the stage. I'm looking forward to his presentation later. And of course, our esteemed leader, Dr. Friday, and myself, we are going to be speaking as well. So 5 of us are going to be speaking, along with the performance of the night from Zion. So we're looking forward to that. Fuji is going to be there providing entertainment as well, before and after the event, after the meeting, So yeah, it's going to be a great event at Spring Village, and the entire North Leeward, as usual, they're going to come out and support, and we're going to have a grand time later this evening, Dougie.
Thank you very much. So the song say, I can, and I know you can, and you will do all that you can do.
Yes, man. Thanks again, and we'll talk soon, Dougie.
Bless, my brother.
All
right. This ain't no joke, inspirational is what that's Dr. Kishore Shallow. Tonight, village meeting in Spring Village. Zion I would be there. I'm Dougie the Freitas with you on your nice station. Living Faith coming up. Sorry to be late, but when we get Dr. Shallow, we had to touch on all the little things that matter. Yes, you lied to himself and got no
motivation, hate his job, and the way that God made his image. He sits all day and waddles away, pours his goals out. Anyone who cares to listen, he pours his soul out. One day blinded by the light of conscience, I call it Holy Ghost, but skip the redundance. Ain't it funny how this world got you over? Weight of this world got you looking so much older. Think no love, a reason to just end your life. And now you're wondering, is it really worth the strife? There's a man who cares, listening ears, put your troubles on his shoulder, and in the morning it'll be over. I can be anything. Weight upon my shoulders, I'm gonna rise. Mountain so high and I am gonna climb, because I can do anything through you. Yes, you. I said I can be anything.
That's somebody on the line. Let me take that person here. Good morning.
Good morning, Dougie. I'm calling from the Lady area, right? I noticed during the carnival broadcast, the station was cutting in and cutting out.
No, that was because we had internet problems in the park.
No, I noticed it happening just now.
Okay, well that means we'll have to come down and check to see what's happening down at Leo.
Okay then.
Okay.
In case somebody
How is it? Shibi did call me and tell me about it, but I thought it was intermittent. Might have just been internet in the area.
Right.
So how often does it?
Well, I noticed when Shallow was talking, it happened, but it running good here now.
Okay.
But I thought it was just the problem from the outside broadcast, but I now notice it is just limited.
Yeah, well, we was having that from the park with the outside broadcast, but also we couldn't be having intermittent internet problems down there that makes it cut off. Okay? Because remember, it's linked via the internet, okay?
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks a lot. And I told Shibi was to let me know. I will go down and make an examination of it. I'll try and do that sometime tomorrow. Okay?
Okay.
All right then.
All right then.
Okay, man. Thanks.
No problem.
Yes, you. Just say I can be anything. Weight upon my shoulders, mountain so high. I said I can do anything to you. Yes, you.
Live in Faith comes to you Mondays to Fridays. A Bible reading, an exhortation, and gospel music from 9 to 9:30, Mondays to Fridays, right here on Nice Radio.
Live in Faith is brought to you with the kind compliments of the following.
Nightingale Company Limited, the bookshop in Middle Street. The place you go for all your stationery, school books, greeting cards, office supplies, and so much more. Things you would expect to find in a good bookshop, a serious bookshop with reasonable prices. Go for Nightingale Company Limited, the bookshop in Middle Street, Kingstown.
O Father, God of my life, this day I renew my act of faith in you and grant you permission to do with me as you will. Create in me a heart ready for all circumstances. In times of sorrow, may I turn to your compassion. In times of darkness, may I trust in your providence. In times of suffering, may I cling to your cross. In times of my unfaithfulness, may I taste of your mercy. And in times of abundance, may I echo your generosity by sharing with those in need. O King Father, grant me such living faith through Christ our Lord. Amen.
The topic in Live in Faith is God sent me. God sent me. It was really for the sake of saving lives that God sent me here ahead of you. Genesis 45:5. The contributor is Greg Erlandson. Greg wrote for Live in Faith. He said, "We love happy endings. A couple find each other. A dog makes his way back home. The returning soldier embraces his children. The ugly duckling becomes the swan." Happy endings drive Hollywood hits, but they also very much a part of our religious heritage after all. The happiest endings is the salvation promised by the resurrected Christ. Today's first reading offers an archetype of happy ending story. Jealous brothers sold Joseph into slavery. Years later, he becomes their savior during a time of great famine. What makes it such a happy ending is Joseph's recognition that God had a great plan for him. It was not easy, but Joseph rose from a mere slave to being Pharaoh's trusted confidant and a vizier of all Egypt. And in this role, he was able to rescue his father and his entire family from starvation. Joseph trusted in the Lord and became the savior of his people. Heavenly Father, let us trust in you always, no matter what circumstances we are going through. And that's Living Faith for you today. We apologize for the lateness. The death announcement would come in a short moment, and then getting busy would continue, and you know what would happen today. God bless. Have a great day, a nice and most wonderful day. Remember, whatever you do or say today, whether you agree or you disagree vehemently on a matter of point, be it family, social, religious, or political, to do it in love, because love is God, love is of God, love conquers all. Have a great, nice, wonderful day.